Hi everybody, it's Mark Ullman with MD Web Pro, and we're back for another Medical Marketing Monday. And today we're going to talk about local search results on Google. Now, many of you are familiar with the Google search results page that I've blown up here. And what we're looking at today is a search from this morning for plastic surgery in Austin. Now, what that is when Google sees a location in a search, they handle the search a little differently. As of October 2011, Google rolled out what's called local search results. And what they're trying to do is tailor the search results to your location. If you're searching with a city name, they're trying to return businesses that are near that city. Even if you don't include a city name, Google's going to guess at your city, your current location, based on your internet service provider whom you're accessing the internet through. And they're going to take a best guess at what city you're in and then show you results based on that city. So Google's using this more and more in all the search results that we track. We monitor which search results pages have this local component, and what we see is the number of search results continue to increase. So Google is getting smarter and smarter about this local search and when to show local results, and they're beginning to do a really good job of it, and it's really making for a better search experience for the user. But so today we want to talk about, well, what goes into a local search? How does Google know, how do they determine which results to show up towards the top? And so as I mentioned, up until about October of 2011, we had just your standard search results where you would see the first ranking listing, the second, the third, the fourth, on down the row. You'd have some paid listings up here, and then you'd have some other paid listings down the right hand side. And today primarily what we're focusing on is these organic listings, not the paid listings across the top or the side, but these organic listings which Google ranks you for based on the content of your site, the authority of your domain, and now as of a couple years ago, the location of your practice. And so you'll recognize these local results by these little thumbtacks, which you've probably seen in Google. And what those thumbtacks correlate to is a map which Google will display on the side showing your current location and the location of these clinics or these search results based on their guess at your location. Now these thumbtacks represent again, like I say, local search and an actual physical location. So the first key to ranking in the local search results is to actually have a physical location near the locality that's being searched for. And so what that means is you need what's called a NAP, name, address, and phone, and you need to keep your name, address, and phone consistent across the web. You start by placing your name, address, and phone number on your own website, and we can see here for WestlakePlasticSurgery.com. They have an address, 4407 B Cave Road, number 303, Austin, Texas, 512730, and their phone number. Now this format of their NAP, their name, address, and phone, this format needs to be consistent across the web. And what that does is it helps Google determine who is for real, who actually has a physical location. Because Google wants to return here, they're charged with the task of returning the best search result. And the only way they can determine that you're really truly in Austin is through this phone number verification, and then also their own Google Places, Google Plus Places verification methods of sending a postcard or actually calling your business. So they have two primary techniques, and the main one is looking across the web to see how many times does this name, address, and phone appear. Because the number of times it appears reinforces the idea to Google, yeah, they actually exist over there. It's not just some guy who's in Minneapolis trying to pretend like he's in Austin so he can get these search results. It's actually a physical location in Austin, Texas. And so that's Google's task. Now, how do they do that? As you know, Google indexes just about the whole web on a regular basis, and what they're doing, they're out there looking for this name, address, and phone number and how many sites it appears on. What we call that is a citation. And now I've added the number of citations here for the top 7 search results for the search plastic surgery in Austin. And what you'll see is the top result has a total of 93 citations. What that is 93 times out on the web, Google has found this address with this city and this phone number and this business name. The number 2 listing has 75 citations. The number 3 has 83. The number 4 has 121. And on down the list with number 5 at 90, number 6 at 131, and number 7 at 81. Now you can see that these don't correlate exactly. More citations doesn't always mean you're going to rank higher. But what we do see is that with all things being equal, with 2 businesses with the same location and the same site authority, a site with more citations will outrank a site with fewer citations. And almost in all cases, a site with 100 or 93 citations is going to outrank a site with 10 or 20. The sites with 10 or 20 citations, Google doesn't see them as being very authoritative. Why does your company only have 10 or 20 when we're finding these that have 70, 80, and 90? And so Google correctly ranks those locations a little higher because they seem a little more authentic, a little more real to Google. Now, up until October 2011, the primary methods for getting a site to rank 1, 2, 3, and at the top of the search results was having quality content on your site targeted towards phrases, telling Google what your site is about, building the authority of your site, and this comes primarily through links of authoritative sites who are basically vouching for you to build your site authority, and then also the traffic based on click-throughs through Google, which search listings are getting the better traffic. Google's never openly said they do that, but I couldn't imagine they wouldn't monitor which results actually get clicked on and which ones don't. So up until then, these local these local results were introduced, these were our 3 primary methods of optimization. Now, with local results, these don't go away. We still need content, quality content on a site. If your site's not about plastic surgery, Google will never show you in the search results for plastic surgery. If your site doesn't have any authority, Google's still going to prefer the site with more authority. And the same with click-through. Google's going to always prefer the site that it gets better traffic. But in addition to these, Google's also using citations, the number of reviews, and are they positive reviews on all the review sites? Google's getting very smart in how they can determine who's getting more positive reviews versus negative reviews. I don't think they have it perfected yet, but they can definitely do some of that now, and they're making improvements in it. And then also location. How close are you to the city centroid of the area that was searched for? Are you actually in Austin? And unfortunately, I don't know how Google could do it any better, but right now, when you search for Austin, Google uses the city centroid as the location you're looking for. So if you're dealing with a city that's large and you could be 10 miles away from the city centroid, Google's going to penalize you basically for that. Not really penalize you, but they're going to rank your competition who's closer to the city centroid a little higher. Now, that's only one of many signals, so there's definitely ways to make up for that as long as you are in the actual city that's being searched for. You can make up for that by having more citations, being a little more authoritative, and giving Google more signals that you're for real than that competitor, a little more real than that competitor who's closer to the city centroid. But unfortunately, being near the city centroid is still a strong ranking factor, and with good reason, because Google wants to return the results that are nearest to the location you search for. So how do we get all these citations? How do you go from having 10 or 20 to getting 93, 75, 83 and growing your list of these references online? And what I'll say is you can't just jump out and get 93 citations and all of a sudden come up to the top of the rankings. What you really need to put in place is a process for acquiring citations over time and getting more and more visible on the web, because I guarantee these competitors aren't going to stay at 93 and 75 and 83 citations. Next year they're probably going to have 50% more or double the number they have today, because obviously they're acquiring citations and they're not going to sit stagnant for a year and just let themselves drop out of the listing. So whatever they're doing, they're going to continue to do, and you need to get on track and do the same thing for your site to build your citations and your authority. So where do we get these citations? Well, we head on over to many of the directories, starting with Google Places, or Google Plus Places now, Yelp, the Yellow Pages, all the various Yellow Pages, Dun & Bradstreet, Info USA. There's literally hundreds and thousands of these sites where we can get citations for your practice, including your name, address, and phone number, and each one of those reinforces to Google where you're actually located and also the authority of your of your business. Now you can do a search on Google for your competitor's name, address, or phone number, put them in quotes, and you can actually see where they're getting a lot of their citations and head on over to those same directories and submit your site. What you want to look for is you probably want to be adding at least 100, more likely 200 of these citations per year so that you can gain any lost ground with your competition, but then also continue to maintain a steady stream of new citations over time. I think Google also looks at the rate of acquisition of these citations because that means it's a viable, it's a healthy running business that's always getting new citations because they're in business, and it's a natural part of being in business is that more and more directories will list you and you'll have more and more citations out on the web. Now, this isn't a difficult process. It's just time consuming, and it's knowing where to look, where are the correct directories to get listed into, and doing the task. And you can hire firms to do it. We do this as a service, but we also train our clients on how to do it because it's a critical component to search engine optimization today and for getting your business near the top of the search results when it's a local, when Google's showing local results. So I hope that helped. I hope that was informative and cleared up any confusion or any questions about what goes into Google local search results. And I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye.